Alright, hello everyone. Welcome. Darkside Phil here. Tonight is Thursday, February 12th, 2015. And welcome to the return of the Hate Live podcast. After a month on hiatus, we're back. I've been very busy with all kinds of stuff going on, but now we're back and ready to talk about all the crazy amounts of topics that have been going... Wait a minute, no. This is the 2-hour 50 Shades of Grey special where we're going to talk about every restraint, every little kinky thing, every ball gag possible. 2 hours of discussion about the hit movie that's going to be released this weekend. No. Well, in fact, that's the last time I'm going to mention 50 Shades of Grey. Let's go ahead and, just to show you guys, there's been so much going on with me in my life, with gaming in general, with the world news, with wrestling, with everything that I like to talk about here on Hate Live, alright, that I actually have a list. A freaking giant list of stuff, a laundry list of things to talk about, and I didn't want to forget any of them, so I actually wrote them all down in a I had it done, and then I added more, then I rearranged. It's a mess now. You probably can't read it anyway because of chicken scratch, but what I want to do is go through all this stuff, and I want to warn you guys, typically, this podcast is around 90 minutes to 2 hours long. I'm aiming for that tonight, but I can't tell you when I'm going to go on break because there's so many topics. It's not like the show is going to be segmented like sometimes it is. It's going to be more like, let's talk about this topic, let's check the time, and there will be at least one break during the course of the podcast where I'll relax my voice, all right? But we've got a ton of stuff to discuss and just to go into regarding what I've been up to recently. Just to give you a quick summary, I'm going to talk about some of the games I've been playing recently and the stuff that's coming up very shortly. I'm going to talk about the changes to my content that have happened in the past few weeks, including the new montages, editing, my editing software being upgraded, etc. I'm going to talk about the changes to the weekend preview. I'm going to talk about a Loot Crate update, which is a huge positive update you guys are going to be interested in. We're going to talk about my Seattle trip and do a brief recap of all the stuff that Leanna and I did last week on that trip. I got an update on a P.O. box. I got new business cards coming we're going to talk about. I'm going to go through the list of all of my statues that are very, very shortly going to go up for sale on the internet, and you guys will have an opportunity to jump in and purchase some of those, okay? I'm also going to be talking about Patreon. A month has passed, and a lot has changed with Patreon in regards to me finally setting some concrete perks and goals that we're going to discuss here on the podcast, and I'm definitely going to need your help with that. We got gaming news, wrestling news, world news, plans for the summer. I've got a ridiculous amount of stuff to talk about, so let's get started with it rather than just talking about it. Instead of talking about it, let's talk about it. Okay, then. Okay, so let's start, as we always usually do, with myself, the games that I've been playing recently, the content that I've been putting out, a little bit of discussion about that, and a little bit about what's coming up in the next couple of weeks, because I think you guys are going to like what's coming up, okay? So first of all, as you guys know, I've been very busy regarding ongoing playthroughs that are finally winding up, and new content. So we're going to split this discussion by talking about the game playthroughs I've been doing, the games coming up, and then some of the new stuff, okay? Game playthroughs that I've been doing recently. We had an ongoing playthrough of Dying Light. We had Grim Fandango Remastered, okay? We also did some Evolve gameplay this week because Evolve, the retail version of the game, after having an alpha and then a beta, every phase of the game was released publicly, we finally had the retail version of the game released this week. And so I had an opportunity to move my mic a little bit here. I have an opportunity to play that as well. And so all of those appropriate playthroughs have gone up on YouTube. I've since reviewed Dying Light, which has gotten about 10,000 views. Thank you very much for that. You guys are actually watching my reviews more now than in years. I mean, I'm serious. For like 2 or 3 years there, I was reviewing games, and they would barely get any views, and it would make me feel like maybe people don't care about my opinion anymore, But it seems like things have flipped almost in the past year. People care more than ever about my opinions, and that's awesome, and I thank you for that, okay? So the review of Dying Light is live, and after playing Evolve for 3 days, I played it 2 sessions on Tuesday and then a big session both on Wednesday and Thursday. My review of Evolve is now live on the King of Hate vlogs, and that literally went live as I started streaming this, so I doubt that anyone who's watching the stream right now live on the stream has actually seen the review. Please watch it, because people have been asking me all week, what do you think? Is it a good retail game? Is it worth $60? You're going to find out my maximum truth, minimum bullshit opinion in that review. And as usual, I don't pull any punches, so definitely check that out, okay? So that's all the stuff I've been kind of doing. I did finish Grim Fandango finally, just so you guys know. If people have been waiting, geez, Phil's been playing this game for over 2 weeks. I finally had an opportunity to beat it. Oh, what a nightmare I had with that game because I had to play it on PC because Sony fucked up and still, they're not going to refund me my money and I still can't play Grim Fandango on PS4, so I got basically robbed of 15 bucks thanks to Sony fucking up and not making the game working on my PS4. Thanks, Sony. You guys are awesome. But anyway, I digress. I'm not going to sit here and bitch the whole time. I'm just going to say there's been some good content going on around the channels, and I hope that you've had a chance to check out those playthroughs, even though, let's be honest, Dying Light, I think, was a game that had hype, but it was delayed so much that it lost a lot of the hype that it had. But I still enjoyed it very much, and I actually, well, we'll talk about this in a minute, did a fun best and worst of montage of Dying Light, okay, that you should check out as well. Grim Fandango, even though, I'll be honest, almost no one watched it, I loved playing it. I liked the fact that I went back to the 90s and I played a classic point-and-click game from Tim Schafer, who I never had the opportunity to appreciate or enjoy that game before. That was the era I wasn't playing games heavily. I was into Street Fighter, right? And the point-and-click is a lot of the ones that I did not play, and I enjoyed the hell out of the playthrough, so I hope that you'll give it a look. Maybe that's one that when you're really bored and there's nothing else to do, I just want to see something random, watch that playthrough, you're probably going to enjoy it, okay? So now let's talk about what's coming up gameplay-wise in the next couple of weeks, because I think you're going to be pleased that a lot of this has changed, alright? First of all, big changes starting this weekend. For the next week, starting tomorrow, we're completely taking a departure from console games. We are not going to play anything on PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, nothing. We're taking a complete departure, and we're going to explore the realm of the handheld in particular. If I can read it. If I can reach it. Ah, shit. The hell did it get this far away? My Nintendo 3DS. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my Nintendo 3DS is finally going to get some use after basically sitting on the floor here for a few months. If you guys remember, I bought a 3DS XL last year that had live streaming and capture capabilities, and I'm very excited to now be playing new 3DS games on there. Last year we played a few. We did Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright, we did Smash, and then we also did Pokemon Omega Ruby. This year we're starting off strong, in my opinion. We got two big ones. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3DS, which I never played. I never played this game on the Nintendo 64, so I really don't know anything about it. I'm going to be playing that. And then also Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, which I was not planning originally on playing, but tons. I mean, I'm talking hundreds of people contacted me saying, Phil, you got to play this game. Why wouldn't you play it? It's huge. It's a giant fan base. People would love to see you play it. And I found out over the past couple of days that, quite honestly, it's a game that can be played solo. It's a game that can be played online with grinding elements, or you could play cooperatively, multiplayer. I said, what a game. So you're telling me that I could stream during the day and play solo, and then at night, when typically I'm, basically wasting my time when I'm relaxing doing a stupid mobile game on my iPad, instead of doing that, I could be downstairs in the living room playing for a couple hours and grinding and get gear and stuff in the game on there. And people are like, yeah, it's that kind of game. I'm like, damn. Well, that sounds good to me. So that sounds good to me that I would do that. So that is going to be coming this week. The whole next week, that's what you're going to be seeing on DSP Gaming is those two games. And I hope that you guys will definitely check out the streams and also the videos, obviously, on YouTube. Now, I do want to say this. Thank you. My arm is stuck. Hold on. Thank you to everyone. Ah, fuck, I smashed my leg. Thank you. Oh, that hurt bad. Thank you to everyone who submitted fan art for the Majora's Mask playthrough. We got like a dozen submissions, and actually it's been Kless, a viewer and fan, who took it of his own volition to take all that fan art and make a montage himself with Zelda music and other things incorporated in it. So thanks to Kless, we're going to be seeing that during the playthrough. And also, thanks to the two viewers who submitted fan art for streaming backgrounds. For when I do those playthroughs, you need like a template because the two screens of the 3DS. I've got one for both games now. So that's awesome. But what I would say is this. Please, 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 if anyone can and has some free time this weekend, take a shot and submit some fan art for Monster Hunter, because I only... God, my foot hurts. I smashed it. But I haven't really had time to talk about it because I've only decided a couple days ago I was going to be playing Monster Hunter, but I'm going to be playing it definitely. So if you submit fan art, I'll be able to make a montage of that as well for when we go on breaks and stuff during that playthrough. I would definitely like to see some Monster Hunter art, okay? Okay. People think I'm going to go to the hospital. Oh, I amputated my foot. Oh, no, I didn't amputate my foot. All right. So that's coming up this week. At the end of this week, on Friday, so a week from tomorrow, the Order 1886 finally comes out. And let's be honest, we've heard about this game since the PlayStation 4 was announced. So a lot of people, is this going to be good? It's another one of those games, all this anticipation, could it be good? I think it has potential, if it's executed properly, to be a Game of the Year contender. I also think it could be a stinky piece of horse shit, like a lot of these games the past couple of years that we thought were going to be great, and then they came out and we were like... I hope that's not the case. I hope the Order ends up being good because I've been looking for a supernatural aspect with monsters and all kinds of stuff involved. You know, a secret society who hunt down these monsters in a gothic era, but there's like modern weapons. Sounds fun. But will they execute properly? That's what I want to see. And then after that, the week after that, we've got both Resident Evil Revelations 2 Episode 1 starring Barry Burton. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you may not have known this, but Barry Burton, who has not actually had an active role in a Resident Evil game since the original installment in the late 1990s, makes his return to the Resident Evil franchise late this month with Resident Evil Revelations 2. I'm excited. You should be excited. You should be excited too. But I'm excited for that. I actually very much liked Resident Evil Revelations 1 a lot, and I'm looking forward to this one, which is going to be released episodically. Unlike other Resident Evil games, this one's going to have like a couple hour installments that'll be released over the course of the year. So kind of like a lot of other games where we had little mini doses. That's how we're going to experience this game. And then we also got Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which is supposed to be one of the most unique Dragon Ball games ever made. People are telling me you must play it, you can create your own character, there's alternate plot lines to the actual series, and you could do this, and you can have sex with Boo. And I'm like, well, if you can have sex with Boo, I'm definitely getting the game. I think someone was pulling my leg when they were talking about that. But it sounds great, and I'm very excited. A couple years ago, I played a Dragon Ball game, and it didn't work out too well, simply because the Dragon Ball game that I played, actually it was last year, was shitty. It was a shitty Dragon Ball game. It wasn't terrible. It was just like, you know what I mean? I'm looking for a better one. People are saying this is going to be the one. So I'm excited to check this one out, okay? Now, I just mentioned everything for February. We've got March. There's a bunch of releases. There's more releases coming out. I'm not going to go that far ahead, all right? But that's just for the rest of February. That's what we're looking at. So I hope that you guys will join me for all of those playthroughs for the rest of the month. Keep in mind that's not all of the content that I'm going to be putting out. And now, great transition time. Because what I'm going to do is transition and say from the normal gameplay that I would normally be doing, there's going to be new stuff, fresh stuff, directly based off of your feedback, okay? What am I talking about? Well, you may not know this, but over the past couple of weeks, since the last time we did a Hate Live podcast, I have mixed up my content a bit. I've decided that when there is appropriate times, for example, the end of a particular game playthrough, or maybe a certain period of time, like at the end of every month, I'm going to be doing montages. Now, what that means is that instead of me just doing raw gameplay, I'm going to sit down and put some time in front of a video editor to do some awesome montage work. Now, I've already done 2 of these. I did one that was for the best of January 2015, and I also did one that was for the best and worst of Dying Light. Overwhelmingly positive feedback based off of those videos, and each one at this point, I think one of like the best of January reached around 19,000 views. I think it's almost 20 in a couple of weeks, and the Dying Light one has only been out since I believe it was Saturday of last week, and that one's are up to around 17,000 views. It's doing pretty good, although YouTube had some view issues this week. I'm not even going to mention it, but YouTube had some view issues this week where they froze for a day and they never updated it, so I think it actually probably did better than that. But overall, I mean, I'm talking hundreds of thumbs up that I almost never get, and people are saying they love that. If I keep doing that, that's going to get me on track to have a viewer base that watched the playthroughs, but also a whole new viewer base who want to see those kind of montages, okay? So I am on track to keep doing that, and in fact, I just said I finished Evolve, right? I played Evolve for 3 days and reviewed it. I'm looking to do a Evolve montage this coming weekend, possibly Sunday night, where I'll be putting out a big montage of the stuff that happened in Evolve that I think you guys will enjoy as well, okay? So that's going to be coming up. And then in addition to that, I upgraded my editing software. So for years, I'm talking since like 2010, I've used this video editor called AVS Video Editor. That's from some UK company. I've never heard of them. No one's really heard of them. They're this really, rinky-dink company. But at the time, you think back to 2010, before I was even doing this for a job, I needed a video editor that was cheap, but had some features that were nice, and it could do basic video editing for things like my reviews and stuff. And I bought this one, and since then it's what I've used, and it's just so insufficient for doing anything in a professional capacity. This thing crashes like crazy. It has pop-up errors. It eats all the memory on my PC. And keep in mind, I have a top-of-the-line PC, and this thing just destroys the PC. It's a stinky piece of shit, and I need to stop using it. And finally, I was making this Dying Light playthrough. I'm sorry, this Dying Light montage. And I finally was doing it, and it's error. I couldn't take it anymore. I fucking slammed my desk, and I said, enough is enough, and I'm not going to take it anymore. So much like Owen Hart, I stormed away from my office for 5 minutes, and I said, I need to think about how I'm going to be doing this properly in the future. What am I going to do? And I thought, well, there's programs like Sony Vegas, Adobe Premiere Pro, but they all cost like $700 to $800. They're insanely expensive, and I don't have that money right now. I don't. I'm in a time in my life right now where money is very tight, and I'm in a lot of debt, and I have to pay off the debt before I accrue more debt. And so I said, what can I do? And then it kind of struck me. I said, now, wait a minute. And then I sat still for like 5 minutes. But then finally, my light bulb blinked, and it said, I think I know a way. And I looked. There's a new way to get Adobe programs, which many of you may not know. It's a subscription-based program where instead of paying $800 fucking dollars, you pay a certain amount of money a month. And so for $20 a month, I'm able to get Adobe Premiere Pro and use it. It's the full program. And I got it, and within, I swear to God, so I had the video edited already in the old editor, but I couldn't get text to work properly. I couldn't get all these things to work. Within 5 minutes, I tossed it into Premiere Pro. I had fucking fancy text and things going, and I was like, motherfucker, why the hell didn't I do this earlier? So finally, this is great, and I did it, and I was like, from now on, I'm going to use Premiere Pro. I may still use the old program for basic things. So for example, if I'm going to do The Hateful Truth, and I just need to whip one together quickly, I still have the template. DSP tries it. That's something I don't need anything complex, you know? I can still use the old editor, but when I'm going to do these big video montages of games, I'm going to start using Adobe Premiere Pro, and there's going to be some learning curves. I'm going to have to learn all the features and everything and how the interface and whatever, but I think overall it's going to be a positive thing, and that's already in effect, okay? So that is what happened in regards to that. So pretty much I would think weekly, maybe not exactly weekly, at least every couple of weeks, you're going to be seeing some fun new video montages coming out of me, rather than just the same raw gameplay that people have literally just come up and said, it's 2015 and raw gameplay doesn't cut it anymore. People don't want to sit through every single part of a playthrough. Now, there are still people who do. And if you do, I want to let you know, don't worry, the raw gameplay isn't going away. Those still going to exist, but I'm going to be making these montages for those who don't want to sit through the entire playthrough. Rather than completely lose their viewership, I'll give them something different to watch, okay? So definitely check these out as I'm hoping eventually they'll catch on and get more than 20,000 views, but we'll see. Initially, I'm pleased with that, okay? In addition to that, another big change that I want to mention is that I've decided that basically after a week of streaming, so let's say, for example, a week ago on Thursday, well, actually, this is a bad example because I wasn't here a week ago on Thursday. Let's say that a week ago on Thursday, I played Dying Light, and I had streamed it, and I had this stream that was on YouTube, and it was 3.5 hours long. I'm going to make that live a week later. So, for example, whatever I streamed a week ago, you're going to be able to watch that gameplay stream live a week later on YouTube in its unedited form. Now, you might say to me, why are you doing that, Phil? Because what you do usually is you have these 15-minute, 20-minute parts, right, that you put into a playlist. That's how you've always made your video content. Well, I'm going to continue to do that for the longtime fans and viewers who are used to that. But there's people who are just so adamant. They're just like, I need bigger videos. I hate watching 15-minute clips. I like big, giant, unedited videos. There's other YouTubers who are popular, who have millions of views who do this. Why can't you do it, Phil? To which I very calmly respond, and I say, because I don't have millions and millions of views on every video I put out, and I can't put out a 3-hour clip because people are used to watching it in 15-minute increments. And if I take that 12 videos and release one, that means I get 12 times less views and I go out of business overnight. It's basic business know-how to know I can't do that, okay? And people are just of this big mentality that you need to have longer gameplay videos. So literally now you're going to have the best of every scenario. You can watch the live stream, when the live stream goes live on YouTube, you can watch it that way. You can watch the playthrough right after the live stream ends in the usual 15-minute increments that I usually do it. You can watch the montage whenever the montage is released, which is usually going to be the best, worst moments, my fails, my successes, everything that's great about that game, in my opinion. And then a week later after I stream, you can watch the unedited stream. So you can watch it however the fuck you want, okay? However you want. You can have it your way. Basically, my content is now going to be like going to Burger King and saying, I would like a double cheeseburger, please. And they give you a double cheeseburger, and you open it, and you take it, and you slap it down on the counter, and you say, fuck you, I hate pickles. Take these fucking pickles back and get this fucking disgusting mustard off my sandwich, because where I come from, we don't put mustard on our double cheeseburgers. To which the clerk looks at you with his pimple face and says, sir, what the fuck's your problem? I just made a burger. You're being a dick. And I apologize profusely, because he's absolutely right. I would never do that. But I'm just saying, it's just like Burger King, where you can order however you want. You can get my content however you want from now on. You can have it your way. All right? No, I mean, of course, you're still going to hear the same people who love to be dicks about it and say, but Phil doesn't listen to his fans. But Phil just does the same raw gameplay. They'll still keep saying it because they're so stupid. They're going to just say whatever they want, but it's not true. You can now watch my content in any form that you would like, okay? And I'm okay doing that. I'm okay changing things up in 2015. If that's what it's going to take to keep entertaining you and keep being able to do this, I'm willing to do it. So that's the bottom line, okay? So people are laughing now about the Burger King joke that I made. All right, so that's a bunch of changes that are already in effect and will continue to be in effect moving forward. In addition, the week in preview and the week in review. You might say, what the hell are you talking about, Phil? As you guys know, I do a video, a vlog, every Sunday night. It's called the week in preview. And what I do is I preview what I'm going to be doing that coming week, including what games are coming out, if there's a podcast, any special events, etc. But what I found is that a lot of people then don't know what I did the week before. Maybe they missed the week in preview. So what I do sometimes is I recap in the week in preview, but that kind of doesn't make sense to be recapping in the week in preview, because it's not supposed to be the week in preview or week in review. It's supposed to be the week in preview. You know what I mean? So I noticed a pattern about over the last 6 months, probably I'd say since I moved to Washington State in the middle of 2014. I noticed that I get a spike in views every weekend. And I think what's happening is that there's a group of people who like my content, but they don't have a chance to watch it during the week when I'm doing all the new gameplay live or anything, because they're busy. They have lives, they have school, work, and their free time, the majority of free time is on the weekend, and that's when they sit down to watch my stuff. But what I realized is that what I say in the week in preview on Sunday night isn't necessarily what happens during that week. So maybe they sit down, they say, oh, Phil says he's going to do all this stuff this week, and then they go look for it, and half of it's not there, or it's not in the right order, or I did something different, and they're highly confused. So here's what I'm going to be doing moving forward. Every Friday night, I'm going to be doing a mini video. It's not long at all. It's literally going to be very short mini videos. Okay, we're talking 3 to 5 minutes max. Where all I'm going to do is very quickly say, okay, guys, here's what I did this week, just so you know. Here's what I actually got to. I played this game, I reviewed this game. Maybe there's a montage here, there was a podcast here. Check it out while you have free time this weekend. And that video is going to be uploaded to DSP Gaming. It's going to be called The Week in Review with DSP. And that's going to be every week moving forward. So you know exactly what I did during the week. If you're a person who watches my content on the weekends, okay, great. It's a good update. And I've already gotten massive positive feedback from the first one I did last week. It took people by surprise because they didn't know I was going to do it. And people are like, wow, this is great. Now I know exactly what to watch on the weekend. Thanks, Phil. Okay? The week in preview is going to be focused primarily on talking about what's going to be happening that week coming up, instead of me taking half of the thing to talk about what I did the week before, all right? But another big change, the week in preview will not be streamed anymore. I want to make that clear. It seems to me that Sunday nights a lot of stuff happens, whether it's a popular television program or the Super Bowl or this sports event or this big media event like the Grammys. There's always stuff going on Sunday night, and that's typically when I would stream the week in preview. And I said, why do I need to stream it? It's not like Hate Live where I'm reading the stream chat and I'm reacting to stuff that you guys are saying and stuff. Instead, it's more of just a very concrete thing. Here's what I did, and that's it. It doesn't need interaction with viewers. So I'm not going to stream the week in preview anymore. It was a nice idea when I first went to live streaming in Twitch TV 2 years ago to stream everything, but I don't think I have to anymore, and that's one of the things that's not going to be live streamed. Okay? So there you have it. Okay. All right, next topic, as we're moving along in all this laundry list of stuff that's been going on. I have an update, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to the fact that for over a year now, I have not had any kind of a mailing address to provide to you guys. And I'm talking about if you just wanted to send me simple letters of fan mail, maybe you wanted to send me some cool collectibles and things from where you live. That typically used to be people from all over the world would send me stuff, local stuff from their culture and all kinds of stuff. And, in addition to that, let's be honest, people like to donate games every once in a while. I'll mention, man, I really wish I could have played this game, but I can't find it, or it's really expensive online. And people would mail me games to play from time to time. And that all went away late in 2013 when I decided I was not going to renew my P.O. box anymore. And here's why. I had a post office box in Connecticut when I lived there, okay? They told me it was going to cost over $700 to renew it for the year, which is astronomically insane, number one. Number two, they gave me the worst fucking customer service I'd ever gotten in my life. What do I mean by that? I mean, they don't give you customer service. They don't tell you when anything arrives, so you have absolutely no fucking idea you have to go there to pick anything up. If you don't go there within 3 days of something arriving, they mail it back without your permission. So what would happen is no one would tell me, unfortunately, that they mailed stuff, or they would tell me, but then they wouldn't tell me exactly when it was arriving or anything, and I wouldn't know when to go. So once a month I would go and check this box, and I'd have a stack, I kid you not, a stack of they were yellow slips, this tall. It'd be like 10 of them, and I'd be like, I had 10 packages this month, and no one ever told me they were here, and they all got returned. So I'm paying $700 a year for a box where everything just got returned. And the straw that broke the camel's back, someone actually told me that they had made a nice custom t-shirt for me, okay? And this guy was supposedly an artist or whatever, and he would put a lot of effort into it. He was really excited, but he forgot to tell me when he shipped it. It got returned, and he never got it back. It got fucking lost in the mail, and no one ever got the shirt. And after that, I was like, that's it. I'm not wasting any more money on these fucking assholes, because maybe they never returned it. Maybe they gave it to someone. Who knows? And I had enough. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say hate. I dislike the United States Postal Service. I think they're one of the most inefficient companies in the entire country, and that's why they're basically on the verge of bankruptcy, all right? So I got rid of the post office box a year ago, and I never really got you guys any more of an update on that. The good news is this. I live now in Washington State, and I am close to a lot of stuff, including a post office, including a couple different shipping companies. And after doing some research, and after actually going out physically to one of these stores and doing some business there, I inquired about what would it cost to get a mailbox here. They gave me the rate, which, by the way, was half, I shit you not, half as much as it cost to get it at the post office in Connecticut. And they notify you when a package shows up. You mean in 2015 you'll tell me when a piece of mail arrives so I'll actually know to come by and pick it up? What a novel concept, you know? So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I will actually be having a mailbox. In fact, I'm about to announce it, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, my mailbox, just so you guys will see. Actually, now, this is probably a bad idea because you probably won't be able to see it. I'm going to try. This is going to be my new mailing address. Now, fan art, fan mail, like letters and stuff, you can send to this address. I'm going to tell you this preemptively before I show you the address. If you want to send me something like, oh, Phil talked about this game that he wants to play, and I have it, and I can send it to him, check with me first. The way to check with me is you got to contact me one of two ways. Either email darksidephil@hotmail.com, or the easier one is phil@thekingofhate.com. Both of those are business-related emails. Send me, I want to send you this, yes or no, and I'll respond to you and say yes or no, okay? Do not just mail stuff, because if stuff just gets mailed, I don't know what it is, I'm not going to pick it up, okay? I need to know what it is preemptively, or I'm not going to pick it up. Just warn you guys, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the new address. I don't know if this camera is going to pick it up or not. So if it doesn't, I'm actually going to show you my new business card, which I made, and they're coming in the next couple of weeks, supposedly. So here it is. Wow, that is terrible. There you go. Hold on, I'll make it straight. Can you read that? Can you read that? No, that's not right. 17701 108th Avenue Southeast, number 1011. That's the box, 1011. Renton, Washington, 98055. Yes, 98055. That's the new mailing address, okay? So if you have any fan mail, fan art, that kind of stuff, you could just mail that right away, all right? If you have a package or something you want to mail me, check with me first. I'm going to say this preemptively. You must check with me first. I will not accept just random stuff, because some people do. Oh, Phil, here's a PC game from I got this, I'm not even kidding you. PC games from like 1998, and they mail me these giant boxes. I'm like, this won't run on a PC anymore. I mean, it's nice that they wanted to send me something, but you should have checked with me at first. I would have said, no, please don't bother. It's a waste of money and time. So please check with me first, okay? All right. So now what I want to show you is my new business cards, which I made, and they look very nice, and I'm going to be actually bringing these with me when I go to Emerald City Comic Con next month, and maybe hand some out, you know, and if I run into any fans or whatever, I'll hand some out and stuff like that. And it's also nice when I have contests and mailings, and I post them up sometimes when I go to different food places. They have those boards you can post business cards up, just to get the word out. Anyone will tell you, Business 101, you own your own business, you got to get business cards. It's necessary. Even if it's internet-based, there's different ways to get the word out there, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and show you my new business cards. Let's see. Hold on. Is this it? Hold on. This might not be it. That's not it. That's not the business card. Hold on. That's the business card, okay? So I know it's pixely because I blew it up for you, but this is what it's going to look like. Looks pretty cool, right? It's got that cool 8-bit art that I've been using for about half a year now. Special shout out to the viewer who made that for me. It's got all that information on there. I got rid of all the Twitch stuff because that's all outdated now. You got the Patreon on there now. You've got Twitter. You've got everything there. See that? So, pretty nice, right? A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff on here for you guys to check out when I hand these out. And, of course, it's not going to be for you guys. It's going to be for people who I hand these to. But I think it looks pretty spiffy. And I like it. And I got a bunch of these coming to me soon. And I'll be, giving those out, etc. in the future to people. So it's nice to have, to actually have a mailing address on there, right? To have a mailing address on there, and it's different. It's been over a year since I had that, and that's a big announcement I wanted to make publicly. Now, another transition, because this is a good transition, okay? What kinds of stuff am I considering that I would accept? Here's a perfect example. I mentioned over on a week or two ago, I've been talking about this on Twitter, that this summer I'd like to play some more survival horror games, and one of the ones that have come up and we talked about several times is Silent Hill 4: The Room. That game apparently is incredibly rare. No one can find a copy anymore. I think it's for Xbox 360 and PS3, if I'm not mistaken. No one can seem to find a copy anymore. And I looked online, and they charge like $100 for it, and it's used. So I'm like, no, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to play that, and it's not available digitally either. Multiple people offered to send it to me, and I said, hold off, because I don't have a mailing address. Now I have a mailing address. So if you guys want to say, if you have an offer, I would love to see him play that, email me, and I'll let you know. Obviously, that way I don't get 5 copies of it in the mail either, which unfortunately that's what happens. People get overzealous. They just mail stuff. And next thing I know, this thing, 5 people mail it to me. Now what am I going to do with the other 4 copies? You know what I mean? So that's the kind of stuff that we're going to talk about. Okay? All right. Whew. Let me get a sip of water here, and we'll get to the next. We got so much to talk about on this episode, man. Whew. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so the next piece of business, okay, and this is going to be an important one because this goes into effect, I believe, as early as tomorrow or Saturday. Let me give you some background for those of you who may not know. I moved from Connecticut to the state of Washington in the middle of 2014, and it was a big move for me, incredibly expensive to move stuff across the country. It's pretty much one of the most expensive moves that you can make besides internationally, okay? And I took on a second mortgage because I'm still paying for the home back in Connecticut because I can't sell it. The market's so bad there right now that I would take a loss if I sold it, which I don't have the money to do that. So I'm stuck with paying 2 mortgages right now, and I'm juggling a lot of financial things, and when I moved here, I accrued a lot of debt. And the good news is, it's not that I'm in such a horrible situation that I can't pay the debt. It's that I have a certain amount of time to pay down this debt before it becomes interest accruing debt, and then it becomes debt that never goes away. Okay? me being a finance major and having lots of experience with this shit in my previous life before YouTube, I can tell you it's a horrible feeling when you're in crippling debt that seems like it never goes away no matter how much money you throw at it, okay? So I don't want to get into that situation. So when we moved here and we looked at everything that I have, the one thing that kind of stuck out like a sore thumb is that when I lived in Connecticut by myself, okay, I had this big statue collection. I had video game related statues. I had movie related statues. I had pop culture related statues, comic book related statues. Anything, you know, I had Street Fighter characters, Dead Space, Duke Nukem, Marvel comics like Thanos, Mephisto, Ninja Turtles. You know what I'm talking about? I had a huge collection, and it was nice. Don't get me wrong. It was nice to have that when I was a bachelor in Connecticut, when I didn't have a lot of debt. Let's be honest. When I'm living by myself in Connecticut, I'm single, right? I had a lot of money to travel. I had money to go around and do whatever I wanted. Times have changed. I started this when I was 27. I'm 32 years old now. And I'm a lot more mature. I'm a lot different. A lot of people might scoff, ha, he's more mature. I do think I'm a lot more mature person. I've taken on a hell of a lot more responsibilities, living now full-time with my girlfriend Leanna, paying for these mortgages, you know, all this important stuff that adults have to do now. My life's changed dramatically. And I look, and all of those statues that I bought over that 4 or 5 year period when I was doing YouTube, and actually before I even was making money doing YouTube, I started that collection. I'm looking at them, and they're just sitting in my storage nook. Okay? Now, some people have said, but Phil, why don't you buy shelving and hang it up on your wall and have all these statues behind you for your vlogs? Your walls are empty and all that. And I said, because I don't need it. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly, I blew money when I had more money than I knew what to do with. Then I grew up, I decided to spend money maturely and on things that are important and things that adults would want. And I don't need these statues anymore. I mean, if I had a ton of money, yeah, I would keep them. But I don't. I don't have a ton of money. And like I said, I have this debt that I accrued when I moved that I'd like to make a big dent in. I'd rather take the value of these statues and say, and attack the debt, rather than say, oh, let's just have these statues sitting. And right now, they're just sitting in a nook anyway. They're doing no one any good, just fucking sitting there. You know what I mean? They're worthless, basically, because they're just sitting there. And I really did. I thought about it, and I was like, a lot of them, I bought them. I thought they looked cool. I got them. I didn't really like them as much as I thought I would like them anyway. And I don't want to clutter this house. My condo in Connecticut was incredibly cluttered with that shit. I don't want to do that. Like, my office is cluttered, but it's cluttered with work-related equipment, shit that I need to do my job. It's not cluttered with action figures and fucking Sagat posing and Duke Nukem's big package. You know what I mean? It's work-related shit, and that's how I want to keep it. So I've decided that I am going to sell that collection, all right? And I talked about this since the middle of last year, that this was a consideration, and I've decided 100% that I'm going to do it. So what I'm going to be doing is probably about once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to be doing videos where I show you a particular item, I walk you through how rare it is, what the value was when I bought it, and what it looks like it's selling for online now. I'm going to actually physically show you the condition of the item and let you know if there's any defects or any problems with it. And then I'm going to give you the information on how to contact me if you're interested in buying it. Now, I'm going to probably give it about a week to see if people are interested in buying it, and if I get an arrangement with a viewer who wants to buy it, we'll do it that way, because that way there's no middleman, meaning Amazon, eBay, whoever, the middleman won't take our money away from us because we want to do business on the internet, okay? We can do it man-to-man. You send me PayPal, I'll mail it to you or whatever. But if I can't find any serious buyer for these things within, say, a week, then I'm going to list it either on Amazon or eBay, and we're going to have those go for sale and see how it goes. Now, I'm very wary of doing that because I've sold stuff on eBay before in 2 different times. Once when I was trying to sell an Xbox 360, I got completely fucking scammed by eBay and lost the 360, got robbed. And then another time when we were trying to sell those joysticks way back when in 2009, 2010. Remember when we were making East Coast Customs custom joysticks for Street Fighter? And we made all these beautiful joysticks and people were fake bidding and being dicks about it, and eBay wouldn't take control of the situation and would just let these people fake bid. I don't want to go through that, which is why I'm hoping I can find some people who are serious about this, okay? So, I have 4 pages of stuff, over 30 items that I'm going to be selling this year. And I'm just going to very briefly right now read through what they are so you are aware of what's coming up. These are in no particular order. I want to make that clear. No particular order. The figurines that I'm thinking of selling. And if you're, wow, I'm interested, keep your eyes and ears peeled, because like I said, coming up very shortly, I'll be doing video walkthroughs of these on my channel, The King of Hate Vlogs. You'll have the opportunity to make offers on them and buy them, okay? Here they are, in no particular order. Here we go. Excuse me. Alright. A Team Fortress 2 Red Medic statue. Pretty nice. A Team Fortress 2 Blue Heavy statue. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo Comiquette statue, where actually Leonardo was wearing the red headband because that's the color that he wore in the actual comic books. The Joker premium format figure statue. You guys have seen that in a lot of vlogs. I used to have that on my bar back at the condo in Connecticut. That Joker figure I'm selling. Team Fortress 2 red colored soldier figurine. The Street Fighter 2 Guile figure. If you guys have seen the giant Guile statue that used to be at my condo, that I'm selling. That gigantic, no, I'm sorry, this is not that one. The She-Hulk figurine that actually was put up for sale just before Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came out, and then when that came out, she became an incredibly popular character, and everyone wanted collectibles of her. It's now worth a ton of money. I'm selling that, okay? I have a replica Portal gun from Portal, the game, that I actually did not buy. I actually got this by redeeming like some ridiculous, like 200,000 points in the GameStop rewards program. I saved my points for like 2 years, and I redeemed it to get this replica Portal gun. I was gonna use that in Project 7 and other stuff, but I don't need it at this point. And I decided to get rid of it, but it's worth hundreds of dollars. Like, it's rare. No, people can't get it. It's worth a lot of money, so I'm gonna be selling that. I have a Mephisto statue from the Marvel Universe, basically the devil of the Marvel Universe. I have a bronze statue of him. I have a Poison Ivy crazy detailed statue from Batman. Super Street Fighter 4 Sagat collectible statue, who actually has alternate heads and stuff that you can put on him. I have a Timson Tool plasma cutter replica gun, life-size, from Dead Space that I'm going to be selling. I have a Scorpion Mortal Kombat premium format figure. That came out as a big statue of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat 9. A Blanca statue from State of the Art Toys. That's this cool posing statue of Blanca from Street Fighter, of course. Oh, this is the biggest one I have. The Incredible Hulk. It's giant. A huge, giant, Incredible Hulk statue. It was one of the first ones I ever got. He was featured in many videos. I'm going to be selling that one. Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And this figure is cool. It's a statue. It's cool because it has alternate heads. 3 different versions of Shredder. It's got Shredder from the comics, where you can't see his face. Just you see these white, like, slits for his eyes. It's all black. Then there's one where you can see his human face, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon from the 80s and 90s. And then there's got one where he's not wearing a mask at all. It's just that he's full exposed Asian face. So it's like 3 versions of Shredder. The Super Scroll painted statue, which again got super popular when Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was released. A God of War 3 Cog Snub replica pistol. This was the gun used in episode 3 of Project 7, the one where we were doing the shooter episode, the action episode, and I pulled out the gun and fired. That's the gun that I used. So that's going to be going up for sale. I'm not even halfway done. I have an Emma Frost Legendary Scale bust, which is just her head and shoulders and tits of the White Queen Emma Frost. That's going to be going up. The Duke Nukem Forever statue. That's going to be going up. Oh my god, I have, where do you guys hear this? I never even showed you this because it's so ridiculous. A life-size, I'm talking, it's like this fucking big, replica Assault I think it's the N7 or M7, I wrote it down. The M8 Avenger rifle from Mass Effect 3, life-size replica. It weighs 20 pounds, lights up, and makes the sounds from the fucking game. I was going to use that in Project 7, and then Project 7 ended prematurely. It's out of control, and it's actually one of the most rare things that you can buy on the internet. You might say to yourself, why? Because they had a problem with the packaging. Many of these were damaged in shipping. In fact, I had to get 3 of them before I had one without damage. So you can imagine how rare this fucking thing is. It's probably worth thousands of dollars. We're going to see. Okay, we're going to see what people think it's worth. Because really, it's only worth what people are willing to offer. That's one that's probably going to take forever to sell, though. A statue of the tank from Left 4 Dead. I have a figurine of Emma Frost as well. Not just a bust, but a figurine of Emma Frost. And I actually did a video on that one a long time ago, I believe, when I was doing one of my condo tours of Connecticut. I have a bust of the Black Cat. Okay. I've got a Thanos and Lady Death statue set from the Infinity Gauntlet comic books that no one can find anymore, and apparently it's worth over $1,000. And it lights up. His whole gauntlet fucking lights up. It's amazing. I have a diorama of the Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe, including 2 Crimson Guard guards there. I have a God of War Boomer statue that's bronze, the Boomer from God of War bronze. A Darksiders War and Ruin combo resin statue that lights up when you plug it in. I've got a Dead Space Isaac Clarke statue that also lights up when you plug it in. Plus, I've got a Gears of War replica rifle, the Retro Lancer, as well as a Splinter Cell Blacklist RC plane that came with the collector's edition of that game. That's just some of the stuff. I have more, but I want to try to sell this stuff first. So, what I'll tell you is this. I'll mention this up front, okay? I will definitely mention this up front. Keep in mind, I'm going to do a video for all this stuff coming up this year. So, probably once a week, you're going to be seeing a video of this stuff, so you're going to see it, okay? Even though you might be getting excited, oh my god, I'm a huge fan of Mass Effect, and Phil just mentioned this giant fucking Mass Effect rifle, I would love to have that. Oh my god, I love the White Queen, she's my favorite Marvel Comics character, I would love to have that legendary scale bust so I could fill up on her titties all day. I understand that, but at the same time, you guys have to understand something. I live in the United States of America, and very recently, in fact, a week ago, I went to mail stuff out for the Hardcore Gaming Season giveaway. That's my yearly giveaway that I do around, the fall. I finally mailed out the rewards. Out of the 7 winners, 4 were international. It cost me over $300 to mail out those 4 packages. Now, those packages were small. They were little light figurines. Imagine mailing you a fucking 25-pound giant replica rifle from Mass Effect 3 would probably cost about $1,000 in shipping. So, you have to be realistic here. If you live in the United States, maybe Canada, maybe Mexico, the contiguous North America, you might want to consider making offers. If you don't live in the United States, you're going to want to strongly consider maybe staying back, or unless you're willing to spend an arm and a leg on shipping, you know what I mean? I want to put that right out front. Normally, everything I do is completely worldwide. This is going to be something that's not going to make sense worldwide. You know what I mean? So, just throwing that out there. All right, we got through that. You'll hear more about this in the coming weeks, okay? As I start to make the videos. In fact, I already filmed 3 of them, all right? I already filmed 3 of them, and I'm going to put those out probably weekly, maybe starting as early as this weekend, all right? Okay. Put that down now, and I'll take another sip of water here. Okay. So, up next, what should we talk about next? We got so much to talk about. Actually, it's almost time for a break. So let me maybe find a small topic. Okay. We got gaming news. We've got wrestling news, which I've got a lot to talk about. And we got world news, where I've got a lot to talk about. Before we get into those, the last thing I'll mention, and then we'll go on a break here, is Patreon. Okay? Last month, last month we talked a lot about this, and I threw out the idea that, first of all, I'd let you guys know that I do have a Patreon page. It's Darkside Phil, just how you spell my name, with a Y, DARKSYDEPHIL. Keep in mind, it's not capitalized, because there's people who did parodies and shit with capital letters. It's just Darkside Phil, lowercase, okay? And first thing I want to say is thank you, because I wasn't expecting this at all. Thank you to the some 20-some people who actually donated some money to me last month on Patreon. Now, I wasn't ready for that. I said this up front last month. I wasn't ready. I didn't have perks set up. I didn't have goals set up. I had nothing set up. The only reason that I set up the Patreon page is because I was told by Patreon to do it, because people were already trying to take all the names related to me to basically troll my ass on Patreon, okay? We've had some developments to this since then, okay? If you can believe it, and I'm going to address this because it needs to be addressed, Patreon is a website based off of charity and, nice people, well-thinking, people who have money that want to donate towards creative things. Unfortunately, as you guys know, I have this negative cloud of people who follow me around the internet and basically try to spoil things for anyone who like to watch my content. So when I put up this new page, there's this thing on the Patreon page called Activity. It's a feed where people who supposedly are going to be your Patreons and donate money to you so you can keep doing what you're doing for a living, can leave comments, right? They're supposed to be able to leave comments and constructive things. Wow, I love your work, blah, blah, blah. People basically fake donated, which you can do on that website. I don't understand why before you donate, you could say you're going to donate. And then they went on there and spammed the living shit out of the page. Now, you might say, oh, what's the big deal? It's not a big deal, right? So what if they spam, a stupid DSP tries it being a man video? The stupid videos that you could go watch them. Who cares, right? I don't care about that. What I do care about is that they were on there trying to dox me. They were on there making death threats. They were on there saying that I was a pedophile. Basically, some of the most vile shit that you could possibly imagine on the internet. Well, luckily, I alerted Patreon, and within a few days, they literally got back to me and said, we profusely apologize that this has happened to you. We've never seen anyone have this kind of attack on our website before, and we're going to have to recode your page. And they did. They recoded my page and got rid of the activity feed so that people can't fake donate, never donate, but still post nasty shit. Just another day in my life where I got to put up with this kind of stuff, right? So anyway, the activity feed is now fixed. There's no more activity feed. That's gone. You don't have to worry about trolling on the Patreon page anymore. But the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I am, this month, setting up concrete perks and goals on my Patreon page. And I'm, by the end of this month, going to announce what they are concretely. I'm going to tell you, okay, now if you've been holding off, you've been interested in donating and supporting me and my ongoing efforts to be able to do this kind of content, the fact that I now got a better video editor, I'm going to be doing montages as well as releasing the raw streams. I'm going to have series like Project 7 returning this year. All these changes that you guys have requested are going to happen, okay? But I need your help. I'm at a point right now where, like I said, I got a lot of debt that was accrued. Unfortunately, my views have taken a hit over the past 8 months since I moved to Washington State for various different reasons. And if I'm going to keep doing these things and moving in the positive direction, I need you to kind of help me pick up the slack. You know what I mean? But I want to give you something back. I don't just want to say, here's my PayPal account, throw money if you feel like it. I want to give away where you can get something out of it. And so I, for the past month, have been discussing, debating, whatever you want to call it, Patreon perks and goals with my fans on my website, thekingofhate.com. Now, we've unfortunately had to completely eliminate a few things that I wanted to do. One of the few things that was like a no-brainer, right, that I wanted to do with this Patreon program was to give Patreons exclusive access to content a little bit early. I didn't want to make it so that they were the only ones who can see it, but maybe they'd get a raw version of something before it was ready for public release, or maybe they'd get it a day early or a couple days earlier than anyone else. Unfortunately, I can't do it. Unfortunately, I can't because, once again, these negative cloud of people who stalk me and won't leave me alone, no matter how much I try, they won't leave me the fuck alone, said, well, we're just going to, we're going to donate $1 a month, and then you're going to have to give us the links to all the stuff that you're giving advanced access to, and we're just going to give it out publicly on the internet, because fuck you, Phil. Just no other reason. Fuck you. So I can't do advanced access as a perk. As much as so many Patreons do it, so many Patreons do, like, Patreon exclusive stream and Patreon exclusive access to this, that. I can't do it because of these people, all right? So what I'm trying to do is find concrete things I can give you. And some of the ideas, and these are actually posted on the page right now, but may change. I want to forewarn everyone, they may change. For $5 a month, let's say you give me $5 a month, I will give you a listing in my Hate Live podcast and probably an ongoing vlog like the Week in Preview, where I'll say special thanks to my ongoing Patreons who are trying to support the cause, and I'll have a list of everyone's name, and you'll get a shout out that way, okay? If you do $40 a month, which I don't think many people will, do that consistently, I have all those Project 7 t-shirts that I have left over from Project 7 in 2012. People have asked me, are you ever going to get rid of them? Are you going to sell them? Are you going to give them out? Well, no, I never really had an opportunity because I'm probably not going to be attending any convention as a guest or anything in the near future to do anything like that. But maybe if you reach that certain level of Patreon, I'll send you the shirt. And the thing, people say, why $40? It's very simple, because the shirt cost me $20, and I'm going to pay for shipping, which, as I told you, is astronomical, especially if you're international. So I figure you hit a $40 level, I'll probably break even, which I know is ridiculous, because I'm trying to raise money with Patreon, but I'm breaking even with this perk. But I'm trying to think of perks that people might want. Of course, I'll sign the shirt or whatever you might want. And then there's some ideas for higher up levels, where if you do a little bit more, maybe I'll do an exclusive video for you, where it's basically your personalized version of Ask the King, where you can write questions. Gee, I want Phil. I always wonder these 5 things. Can Phil answer them for me? And I'll do maybe a 20-minute video exclusively for you, and it won't be public. It'll be just for you, privately listed on YouTube, and only you can access it, where it'll be a video where I answer your questions exclusively, and maybe I thank you, and we have a little, discussion about whatever you'd like me to talk about, something like that. I think a lot of fans of people on YouTube would say, wow, I would love if I could just have a special video addressed just to me from my favorite YouTuber, And another idea that I'm tossing around that is listed there, but I'm probably going to end up changing it because people keep suggesting changes and stuff, is Project 7, which is coming up. I can't promise you when it's starting, but having an opportunity for you to participate in Project 7 if you have a certain amount of Patreon participation. Maybe you do a voiceover clip, or maybe you have a video, a webcam clip that somehow is involved with the plot of the episode or something like that. I'd like to have fan interaction when Project 7 eventually reboots sometime this year, and that would be a cool way to do it, okay? So, that's just a few ideas that I had. Now, unfortunately, I had some other things that I had in mind that kind of got shot down, that people are saying they're not going to work. So those are kind of off the table. Really what I'm looking to do is set up goals. Now, let me explain the difference here, because I get the feeling a lot of people don't understand the difference between perks and goals. A perk is something you're guaranteed to get once you particularly donate a certain amount, and you get that perk. Some of them are ongoing, like getting that shout out in the video, every week or two. Others are going to be one-time things. Like if you get a shirt, I'm sure you don't want a shirt every month, so you get the one shirt or the one feature on Project 7, etc. Goals are basically collective things. So if Phil reaches $500 of funding a month, he will take special time out to do this. Or if we hit this special level, Phil will do something like this that's out of the ordinary, that's not something normally he would do, but because he reached this amount of funding, he's now able to do it. Some ideas that I've thrown out there: do a special series where I actually play Minecraft for the first time. And I'm not talking about just play it for 10 minutes and throw it away. I mean, seriously, maybe once a week, do a stream where it's an hour or two of Minecraft once a week for an extended period of time because I hit a certain amount of funding. Maybe we could have a marathon where I do an 8-hour marathon of games that people request. Or if it's not Minecraft, maybe other games that people have wanted to see me play, and we find a way where the Patreons can vote on the game that you wanted to always see me play, and I just never got around to doing it, okay? That's the kind of stuff that goals would be. Now, here's the thing, and here's the difficulty that I'm coming up with, okay, that I need your help. And this is why I'm talking about it so much here on the podcast tonight, okay? Okay, excuse me. Open this here. I'm going to have to get more water, so I'm glad we're near a break. Most of the goals that successful Patreon campaigns set up are for one of two things. They're either to buy something, which I don't need to do. I don't need to put money towards a PC. I already bought one. I don't need to put money towards buying the PS4. I already have it. So it's not like I hit this level of funding and I go buy this piece of equipment. So I'm not going to be doing that. I don't think that buying a piece of equipment will necessarily improve my content or do anything for you guys at this point, okay? Number two, the other kind of goal that most Patreons, or people who use Patreon, have been setting up are things that I've been giving you guys forever. So, for example, and I'm not kidding you, one of the most successful campaigns from Patreon is this group of guys who just left IGN and they set up their own thing, funded by Patreon. And here's their goal levels. When we hit this much a month, $1,000 a month, we're going to play this particular game. I already do that. You know what I mean? Like, I already have votes on special streams and stuff that you guys can vote on what game I'm going to play, right? If we hit this level of funding, we're going to answer fan questions. I already do that. I do that. I Ask the King. I do that. I do that all the time. So the problem is that it seems like the perks and the goals that the successful Patreon set up are things that I've been giving you guys for free for years. Almost like, you know what I mean? Like, because they were on a mainstream website, they blew up, and now they can go do a Patreon and do simple things and raise thousands of dollars doing it, things that I've been doing for you guys forever. So I don't know what to do as goals, and I need your suggestions. I've gotten tons of suggestions on the forums. Unfortunately, a lot of them get shot down because we say, well, that won't work because of this and that won't work because of that. The one thing that we've said is, yes, playing games that I've never played before that people have wanted to see me play, right? Or maybe do a marathon. Do a classic Sonic marathon that plays Sonic 1 through 4 during the summer that may not get a lot of views, so it doesn't, in that regard, I'm not making a lot of money, but because I raised this level of funding on Patreon, I can do the marathon, right? I don't have to worry about the views because I already raised the funding to make sure to cover all my expenses for that month. So that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Seeing someone's making some good suggestions. How about a marathon of Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxies, right? That's the kind of stuff I would love to do. But again, I need to have the funding to do it because I doubt that stuff will get tons of views. Things that I've always wanted to do, but I can't do unless I'm not going to go out of business if I decide to shut down and just do that for a set period of time, okay? So I need you guys to please think about it, okay? And suggest in the comments of this video, or there's already a thread on thekingofhate.com. I will link that in the description of this video so that you guys can actually, post up about it and give me your thoughts. Because by the end of February, what I would like to do is say 100%, here are my perks, here are my goals, consider the Patreon officially 100% live and launched, and let's get this going for March so that we can get this stuff on the road, and I'll have an alternate source of funding so I don't have to worry every day about views. Oh my god, did people watch Evolve? Oh my god, did people watch Grim Fandango? Oh my god, did people watch this? Instead, just play here and not care about that. Unfortunately, that's how I have to be right now because I have to pay my bills. It sucks. It does. It really does. I love doing this as a living, but at the same time, it's always a double-edged sword. And when things change, when I moved here in Washington in the middle of last year and all of a sudden my views dipped, things changed. And now I need to find this alternate method of keeping myself going, okay? So, thank you for putting up with me talking about that for about 10 minutes. Please let me know your ideas. I'll tell you right now, Phil shouldn't do it. Phil should find a job, a 9-to-5 job. People will say all this nonsense. Don't listen to it because I've already talked about it at length that this stuff cannot happen. I make more money on YouTube just doing YouTube videos than I could getting any 9-to-5 job. The bottom line is I need to find a way to keep it going. And Patreon is a way to keep it going. If I stopped doing YouTube full time to go get a 9-to-5 job and did a few videos a day, I would lose my entire YouTube viewership. It's not going to work. And I'd make way less money and I would lose my house. So it's not going to happen, okay? We need to find a way to make this work. And I think positively, if we work positively together, we can make it work, okay? All right. Okay, everyone. Well, let's go ahead and take a break because I just talked for a straight hour. My voice is wrecked and I need more drinks and whatever. When we come back, it's going to be the news segment. We're going to be talking about gaming news, world news, wrestling news in particular. Huge wrestling stuff that happened this past couple of weeks. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. Thanks a lot. If you're watching this live on stream, please just hang out. We'll have a quick commercial break. I'll be back in a few minutes. If you're watching this on YouTube, just take a look at the description of the video. There'll be a timestamp you can click on and skip this break, all right? Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be right back with more Hate Live. Don't go anywhere. Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to Hate Live. This is the second segment where we're going to be talking about news, okay? Since I don't do Smart Guys anymore, alright? And not to say that it's not going to come back in some way, shape, or form in the future, but as of right now, I don't do a wrestling commentary show anymore. I know a lot of you ask me all the time, what do you think about this, and in particular, the Royal Rumble just happened, and people wanted to hear my opinions, and I gave my opinions, and some people were very disappointed, and some people agreed. I did, in particular, give my direct opinions about the Royal Rumble on my last episode of Ask the King, which was 2 weeks ago. So if you want to know how I feel about the Royal Rumble results, Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble, yada, 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 go watch Ask the King from 2 weeks ago today, and you'll get that answer, alright? But there's a few things in particular that I'd like to address in pro wrestling, so let's talk about that right now. That'll get the wrestling news out of the way. Much like last year. So let's recap. Last year, the Royal Rumble. Everyone thinks Daniel Bryan's going to win the Rumble because all year the plot line's been Daniel Bryan versus the Authority. The Authority holds him down, says that he is the B-plus player, that he'll never be the face of the company. Everyone expected Daniel Bryan to win the Royal Rumble and headline WrestleMania. Instead, Batista comes back. He wins the Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan's not even in the Royal Rumble. And because of this, the fans have such negative backlash against the WWE, they're forced to change Batista from a face good guy character into a heel, a bad guy character. They're forced to interject Daniel Bryan into the main event. And then there's a triple threat for the title at WrestleMania where it's Orton versus Batista versus Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan wins at WrestleMania, Cinderella story, and the fans love it because that's what they wanted to begin with. So last year, 100% WWE freaking botches it and says we have to fix it. Okay? So they do, in a way. Unfortunately, Daniel Bryan gets injured, has to forfeit his title during the course of the year. Came back a few weeks ago to be back in the Royal Rumble. Okay, everyone's saying, gee, we hope Daniel Bryan wins the Royal Rumble. Or if not Daniel Bryan, maybe a good up-and-comer like maybe Dean Ambrose, maybe Bray Wyatt. The WWE chooses to have Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble. Now, not to say for me personally that I dislike Roman Reigns. I don't dislike him. I think that he's getting better in the ring. I think that WWE does not have a good character for him. They haven't given him a real persona yet besides, I'm a big tough man. He doesn't really have any ideologies. He doesn't have anything really to him. He's very one-dimensional. And the fact that they haven't given him a good promo yet on the mic makes him sound like a buffoon every time that he speaks. I don't think that's his fault. I think they give him shit. Okay? So, in this particular case, Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble. And again, massive fan backlash. Fuck Roman Reigns. Screw him. We don't like him. So guess what the WWE has been doing for the past few weeks? The same exact thing they did last year. Everyone wants Daniel Bryan to win, right? So what do? Oh, Daniel Bryan now is going to be in the title picture. He's going to be wrestling Roman Reigns at this new pay-per-view that they invented out of thin air called Fastlane. I don't know what happened to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view they used to do. Apparently they're not going to ever do it again. That one's gone. It's called Fastlane. So in, I think, 2 weeks' time now, it's going to be Daniel Bryan against Roman Reigns. Whoever wins that match is the new #1 contender and goes to WrestleMania to face Brock Lesnar. How much do you want to bet? Now, I'm not stupid, you know. WWE loves to forget about the past and make history repeat itself. How much do you want to bet that Seth Rollins, who has the Money in the Bank briefcase, will interfere in the match, cause a bullshit ending, maybe a no contest or something, and so it'll be announced that the main event at WrestleMania is a triple threat. Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar, and then of course you're going to have Seth Rollins interfering at some point, and eventually no one's going to be happy because you know WWE are eventually going to fuck it up like they always do anyway. So here we are, alright? Here we are. A year later, after a completely botched WWE plotline, they're doing it again because they fuck it up every time. They just don't know what they're doing anymore. And it's sad because so many people are now at their wits' end and they're like, we love the new talent you're pushing. We love the new wrestlers. We love the things, but can you write a coherent fucking plotline that doesn't suck, that doesn't fall into oblivion, that doesn't reward someone who doesn't deserve it? You know, people are not going to be satisfied until Daniel Bryan has a successful title reign. He has not to this point. Do people just want that? I feel if you gave them one successful title reign with Daniel Bryan, they'd say, all right, we can let it go. But they're never going to let go of that until he has it. And he hasn't gotten it yet. He's had the title 2 or 3 times, and he hasn't gotten it yet because the WWE screws him every fucking time he needs to have one, all right? Will he eventually have one? I don't know. But we're going to have to find out. But anyway, I'll just tell you right now, it's annoying to watch WWE and see the garbage. The garbage. John Cena against Rusev for the United States title. John Cena. John Cena, who for the past how many years has only cares about the WWE title. He's the big dog. Now he cares about the US title for some reason. It's just dumbest shit. The dumbest shit that I've seen in a while. And that's what WWE's doing and going with right now. Whatever. I'll watch it from time to time. I'm probably not going to watch it desperately every week. When I get a chance, I'll watch it, right? And I'll continue to give you my opinions in the near future about the WWE. However, you thought that I was going to skip the elephant in the room. No, I'm not. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest gossip, the biggest thing all over the world right now that people are talking about in pro wrestling, is it about Daniel Bryan's amazing wrestling ability? Is it about Dean Ambrose's latest, crazy spot that he did? Is it about, Vince McMahon sagging balls? No. It's about dick pics, of course. So if you haven't heard, don't worry. I'm not going to show you dick pics on this stream. I don't want you to feel, oh my God, I'm watching the King of Hate podcast, Hate Live, and I went blind seeing a dick. No, that's not going to happen. I may show you tits, but I won't show you, no, I'm not going to show you tits either. I'm not going to get into trouble. But here's what happened. Where do you hear this? Because you would never even believe this shit. Seriously. Seth Rollins, Money in the Bank holder. Everyone knows he's probably going to cash it in at WrestleMania. Okay, everyone is leading to this. Has been the top heel in the company all year. He has a fiance. In real life, he has a fiance. And apparently, the rumor is that Seth Rollins has been cheating. Okay, Seth Rollins has been cheating on his fiance with an NXT diva. Now, I don't know who she is because I haven't even been watching NXT recently, so I don't even know what I've been missing or who the diva is or whatever. Who is this person? I don't know. But apparently he's been cheating with her and apparently took nude photos of her. Or she took nude photos of herself and sent them. I think that's what it is. She took nude photos of herself and sent them to him, okay? So apparently, during Monday Night Raw, okay? Wait till you hear this. If you haven't heard this, you're going to be like, what the fuck? The era of social media, right? Apparently, during Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins' girlfriend went through his phone, okay, found a naked pic of this NXT diva and evidence that he's been cheating on her with this NXT diva, and she posted the nude pic of the diva on his WWE-approved Twitter account. So Seth Rollins, WWE, it's all supposed to be kayfabe stuff that's, in line with what WWE approves for social media. And then here's naked titties of an NXT diva. Oh my God. And, immediately people are like, what the fuck is this? Is this insane? This happened during Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins is on TV and there's naked tits on his Twitter page. What the fuck is this? So social media is going crazy. They're like, oh my God, what is this, right? So now people who are more behind the scenes and know the fact that Seth Rollins has a fiance start checking her social media. And they're like, what is this going on, right? What exactly is this? And so they go to her social media page, and all this stuff is going on about him cheating. They go to her Facebook page. Ladies and gentlemen, she posted links of nude pics of Seth Rollins. All right? Now, first of all, I think that's fucked up. Let's face it. If you are flirting with someone, if you are in a relationship with someone, and someone sends you a nude pic because they think that it will arouse you, and you find it arousing, right? Regardless of the fact that they're the most attractive person or not, that's for you and you alone. I don't care what that person did. To put that shit out there, I disagree with that. I do disagree with that. That would be like, being petty shit to an ex-girlfriend or whatever. In this case, it was his fiance's active fiance. Is it right that he cheated on her? Fuck no. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but I think that this is like petty shit, to put that kind of stuff out there. Unfortunately for Seth, now I don't know if this is, what the real case is. The pictures of Seth he has a tiny penis. Now, I don't know if that's because it was a bad day. I don't know if he had just gotten out of the swimming pool. I don't know if, it's been photoshopped to show that he has a small penis. But apparently the pics are not very flattering when they come to Seth Rollins. So in that regard, that's why the big controversy. Now imagine if they had put that to pic and he had a huge, fucking 2-foot-long dick. I don't think anyone would really be talking too much of it. Wow, that guy's a man. And he'd be walking out on fucking SmackDown and Raw like, yeah, those are good pics that were released, huh? But apparently the pics are not very flattering, and that's where all the controversy is coming out of this. So the question is, what's going to happen? Will Seth Rollins be punished for having this big triangle problem going on all over social media? Technically, it's not part of the mainstream WWE, but it's still his persona to the people, right? His dick's out on the internet, apparently. In addition to that, apparently his fiancée has changed her Facebook status from engaged to single. So apparently there was this big blow up this week over this happening, and she broke up with him, and the pics are legit. So it's like, what's going to happen here with Seth Rollins? And a lot of people are wondering what is going to happen with him. Will there be disciplinary action taken against him? I guess it remains to be seen. It's kind of a unique situation. I mean, there have been things before. I mean, just a few years ago, we had the Hulk Hogan video where he was banging Bubba the Love Sponge's wife because Bubba told him he could, and he said, okay, brother, my wife ruined my life. I'm going to bang your wife, brother. And he did, and apparently he has a huge schlong, so that went away within a couple of months. People stopped talking about it because Hulk Hogan has a humongous fucking sausage. But if he had a tiny dick, people would probably still be talking about that too. Will this ruin Seth Rollins' career? People are wondering what's going to happen. My personal take, I don't think that disciplinary action should be taken against Seth Rollins. I think the guy is already embarrassed enough to have his dick out all over the internet, and I think that WWE should pretend like it never happened, and I also think that WWE should stop fucking using Twitter to promote everything that they fucking do, because they realize it's a bunch of little drama queen ninnies that use that shit most of the time for that kind of stuff, and that they're going to do stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like, if Seth Rollins didn't have an official account, his girlfriend couldn't have found it and tweeted naked pics to begin with. Why do they have that? You know what I mean? I don't understand that. You don't want that. So that's what I don't get, and I think that WWE needs to stop doing that shit. But that's just my opinion. Okay. Alright, so that's what's going on with wrestling news. Now let's talk a little bit about world news, and then we're going to talk about gaming news to end the show. Alright, world news, unfortunately, we've got ups, we've got downs, we've got in-betweens, we've got weird shit going on. Let's talk about a few of them. First of all, net neutrality. I actually had a big segment here on Hate Live a few months back talking about net neutrality, how it's very important that the internet has neutrality, that people don't think that they can censor it, that ISPs, right, internet service providers, and the government in particular can't think that they can censor different parts of the internet, that ISPs don't create internet fast lanes where if you pay them extra money to use sites like YouTube or Twitch because it uses more bandwidth and everyone else pays less but they have really slow internet. We don't want that. We want it to be considered neutral. And what I talked about back then, was that the way to go to get net neutrality in place is to classify internet as a commodity. Right now we have things such as electricity, water, telephone, things that people believe are kind of integral parts of life. If you don't have those things, you basically can't function as a normal person. Now, I'm sure if you live out in the boonies or in the woods, or you're a hermit up in a cave or a Tibetan monk at the top of fucking Mount Fuji, right? You don't need the internet. But the vast majority of people in the modern world, the first world, need internet in order to survive, whether it's just for daily life, for research, to even for work, for anything. We need the internet. And so it should be classified as a commodity. And that's what we were looking to do. Finally, last week, this happened where the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission in the United States, said we are looking to classify this as a commodity, which would make it basically net neutral. All right? This is a huge step. Because previously, you had all these companies lobbying with the United States government. No, we don't want that. We want to be able to regulate it. We want to be able to rip people off and slow the internet and censor the internet. They wanted all this shit to ruin the internet for their own selfish fucking purposes. And it would have done nothing good for anyone besides those who just want more fucking money for nothing. So, a good step in the right direction. Okay? However, it's going to be about 2 weeks' time. The Federal Communications Commission in the United States will be doing an official vote to classify the internet as what it needs to be classified as. All right? That's the next hurdle. Once they do that, which we hope they do, let's hope that there's not insane amounts of lobbying by fucking these corporations and everyone and change the FCC's mind. If the FCC passes this, then it will then become a regulation or a law, but then, unfortunately, now our United States government will get to rule and say, do we want to make a law that protects net neutrality? Do we want to try to overrule what the FCC did? And then they're going to take a shot at it, and that's where this comes in. That's where you've got the multi-billion-dollar lobbyists rolling into Washington with their Cuban fucking cigars that apparently are now legal, and, the hookers and the money and the campaign contributions and the you scratch my back, I'll suck your dick, and all the bullshit that happens in the United States government that we the people for some reason put up with. I don't know why. It's funny because I was just talking with Leanna about this last night. We were watching Homeland, this TV series called Homeland, and the whole episode was about corruption in the government and how they cover crimes up that they do, and their kids are basically immune to any kind of practice because the people in the government should be infallible because, they're in power and blah, blah, blah. And she says, I wonder if stuff like this happens all the time. Like, yeah, it does. I say, of course it does. Absolutely it does. There's a ruling class in the United States, and they do their best to control and stay at that level. And why do you think they want to regulate the internet? So they can take more money from the fucking middle class. You know what I mean? Like, this exists. This is literally how our government works. Lobbyists and all that, it all exists. And, there's evidence of all of it. So, the reason I'm bringing this up is because, yes, this is the next step for net neutrality, is just because the FCC passes it as a regulation that the net is neutral doesn't mean that it's going to be protected forever. Now the government will take a shot at it. So now is the government going to attempt to say, well, we don't like that, so let's pass laws that are going to override what the FCC does. So we've got a long road ahead of us to actually secure net neutrality. We really do. And it is a long and winding road, but at least the first step has happened where the FCC is going to vote. They finally proposed it. They're going to vote on it. I'm thinking it's going to coast through pretty surely. I don't think that that's going to not pass. But then when we actually get to, Congress and all that, and they decide if they want to go along with it or try to make laws to fuck it up, we'll see what happens, okay? Okay. So that's what's going on with net neutrality. Positive stuff, but let's see what happens when it gets to our nice corrupt government. The big controversy the past week was Brian Williams, which I didn't even know who the fuck Brian Williams was until this controversy hit. So let me explain. For those who, I think it's NBC Nightly News. I could be wrong. It could be ABC World News. It's one of these big primetime news shows on television, all right? They've been on TV for a long time. And, the head anchor, his name is Brian Williams, and apparently for the longest time he was like the most respected news anchor in America. When he says stuff on TV, you believe him. I don't even understand this anymore, and here's why I say this. Who under the age of 35 years old even fucking cares about primetime news? Do you sit there in front of your television at 8 p.m. to watch the weekly world or the nightly news, and that's how you get your news feed? No! I got this thing right here. It's called a fucking phone. And I get all my news from the phone. You know what I mean? Whenever I need, I can go to CNN. I can go to those websites. I get it through feeds, through Twitter. I learn about everything live as it happens. I don't need to sit there in front of my television at 8 p.m. and watch some talking head tell me about the news of the day. That's so outdated, but I really feel what it is there's a dichotomy between one generation and the next. So anyone who's like in their 40s and above is still in that previous generation where that's what they're doing. They're watching NBC Nightly News or whatever, and Brian Williams is this figurehead, I will deliver the news to you. And everyone else is now, using their devices and the internet and all of this, to get their information. Prime time is on death throes. Prime time TV is not going to exist anymore in a little while. Okay, everything's going to be on demand instantly whenever you want it. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because Brian Williams, this anchor, apparently it's finally come to light over this past week. He's been lying progressively worse about a story where he claimed that he was under enemy fire in a helicopter like some 10 years ago. I think it was like the early 2000s. At first he said, and when he first reported the story, he had said, well, I was in a second helicopter that was behind another helicopter that was attacked, and it was very hard, very nervous for me because we had heard this other helicopter had been attacked. And we're like, oh God, are we going to get attacked? We're just, news people. What's going to happen? Over the years, this story has basically become a tall tale and a bigger lie. Him increasingly saying, oh, well, we were shot at in the helicopter. Now, wait a minute. The original story was it was another helicopter and you were just nervous you were going to get shot at. Then it got even worse. Oh, we got hit. We were shot at and hit. Then, I think the latest lie was, oh, we got hit by an RPG. And so it just kept getting worse, and the freaking lie got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. To the point where finally, this past week, it kind of blew up, and armed forces people who were in the fucking helicopter said Brian Williams was never fucking fired on, and he keeps talking about this story, saying like he's some kind of a fucking war hero. He's not. Why is he saying these things? So finally, this past week, Brian Williams came out and said, I apologize. I think that maybe my head... the shock of war and all the it's bullshit. Basically, he's a fucking talking head. He gets paid, by the way, millions upon millions of dollars to fucking be the head of NBC Nightly News and just sit here and fucking read from a piece of paper. He's a fucking nitwit. He doesn't deserve millions of dollars to do what he does. And he ruined it by basically making a fucking story. He could have just said the original story for you. Why did he make it up? What did he have to gain by lying about this stupid story? And now everyone hates him. Now that the truth has come out, people absolutely hate this guy. They're like, fuck this guy. Seriously, like, what a dickhead that he would, progressively make this story worse, or to make him sound like he's some kind of a big shot, when all he does is sit in front of a fucking desk with a piece of paper in his fucking hand every night, and he gets paid millions of dollars for this. So, goodbye with Brian Williams. He's getting the boot, basically. And then finally, the final news story of this week is an unfortunate one. Because the news story I'm going to tell you about is something you probably didn't hear about on mainstream news. Because most mainstream news in the United States is not covering it. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know the whole if, ands, or buts. I don't know the full story. I know what I've heard, snippets here and there, things I've read on Twitter, because the mainstream media isn't covering it. But let's start with the core of this. Last month, there was a horrendous terrorist attack in France where there was this journalistic company who did cartoons of Islamic religious figures, such as Muhammad and stuff like that. Now, according to the religion of Islam, you're not supposed to have drawings of Muhammad. He's held in incredibly high regard. And, basically you're not allowed to even have a picture or anything of Muhammad. And so this journalism, this journalistic place who did these like political and religious cartoons drawing Muhammad was incredibly, offensive to someone who was, of that mindset of this kind of Islam. And there was a horrendous terrorist attack where lots of people were killed brutally, all right, in this attack in Paris, France. And it became this big news story, these radical Islamic terrorists killed all these people in France. And unfortunately, I hate to say, because this is what happens when this stuff happens, is that it just steamrolls into bullshit. Just because there was one group of people who did something horrendous does not mean that the entire group of people who may celebrate and practice that religion are of that mindset. And I hate this shit. I hate when people get blanketed into generalistic bullshit that they don't deserve. There are millions of Muslims around the world that are peace-loving, level-minded individuals, right? They're honest, hard-working, loving people like you and me who don't deserve to be canvassed into a group of individuals who do these terroristic, crazy, horrendous things to people. And it's not right for that. But this is what happened. So this happened, right? Right? This happened in France. And all you hear on the internet... anyone who practices Islam is an evil terrorist, and you see people, just ignorant people, kill them all. I went and saw American Sniper, and now I want to go kill all the people who practice Islam and all the Muslims. And I see that shit, and I want to just fucking vomit. I do, because these are the most ignorant fucking people on planet Earth. Really, you have to be so simple-minded to think that because there's one person of one thing that did something crazy that everyone's the same. That's the dumbest fucking, most ignorant shit you can say or think. Okay? Everyone's different, and everyone decides, or everyone should deserve a fair chance to be judged on their own actions, not on the actions of someone who could be associated with them by some fucking, generalization. That's my personal opinion. So this week, in ChapelHill, and I'm going to apologize to you guys because I don't know all the details, the full details of the story, but there is this place, ChapelHill, somewhere in America. There was this guy who apparently was, he killed 3 Muslims, or 3 people who practice Islam. I don't want to say it wrong because I don't want to insult anyone. I really don't. I don't mean any offense. And apparently, the big news story was 3 people, of Islamic faith, 3 Muslims were gunned down by this guy, and almost no mainstream media covered it. It was like it didn't happen. Right? Now, more research was done and found that this guy apparently was a known atheist, okay? And if you go to, like, his Facebook page or whatever, he had all this anti-Islamic stuff, and he hates all these religions, and he wants to kill everyone. And apparently they interviewed these people's, like, parents, and the parents of one of the girls who was killed said this guy had literally been, like, harassing these people, showing them guns, you know what I mean? Showing them stuff for months. And nothing was ever done. And finally, apparently, he snapped. They never thought that he was this crazy. And he went and killed them all. Now, the thing that was the craziest thing was when the news reports apparently did come out, the police said that this was due to a parking dispute. So let me get this straight. Because there was a dispute over a parking space, this guy murdered these people. And that's why all this fishy stuff has been coming out. And it's not, this is world news. Not because the mainstream media covered it, but because everyone's talking about it on Twitter. You actually see hashtag ChapelHill. I've seen it for three fucking days now. Everyone is talking about what really happened in this shooting. Was it a hate crime? Was the guy just absolutely nuts and out of his fucking mind, And I hate it because I see these different extremist sides fighting on Twitter. Here's what I said. Here's what I see, excuse me. The flip side of what happened a month ago, right? So a month ago, there was this horrendous terrorist act in France. Multiple people killed by these Islamic militant extremists or whatever. And everyone said, oh, all Muslims are evil. Anyone who practices Islam is evil. They're just sick people. Kill them all. Now I see the opposite. I see, wow, this atheist, see what atheists do? They hate everyone's religion. Fuck the atheists. They're all sick in their head, And I'm like, did you learn nothing from a month ago? And it's serious. It's like 2 rocks going like this. It's like you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere like this. All right? Maybe you need to start calming down a little bit and start trying to talk to see what really happened in these situations. And realize you can't just blanket everyone into everything at all fucking times. You can't. I'm sure there are tons of people who are atheists who don't run out and kill fucking people all the time for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, can we please just calm down? This whole world is just out of control. Let's just sit down and have the rational people, calm people talk the stuff out, right? And then try to help those who are get overblown with the overgeneralization and get them to realize that that's not how the world is. The world, I've said this a million times, the world is not black and white. The world is many shades of gray. Not 50 shades of gray. There's more than that. I don't know why do I have to bring that up again? There's more than just black and white. It's not that one group is right and one group is wrong, and this is right and this is wrong, and this is yes and this is no, and this is black and this is white. That's not the fucking way the world works. And it never fucking will be. And the more people who have that mentality, they just fuck things up worse for everyone else. People need to start to learn to live and work together and stop with this paranoia and bullshit and just believing that everyone else is evil if they don't believe the same shit that you do. It's out of control right now. And the thing is, I really feel this, that because of social media in particular, the fact that at any time you can just tweet your thoughts or make a Facebook post of your thoughts to the world and people will read it and respond, people more now than ever feel like they are 100% correct and everyone else is fucking wrong. And they are not listening. They will not accept other opinions. They will not walk a foot in someone else's shoes. They don't want to see out of their own perspective because they think I am the center of the universe, and because I have social media and people will respond to me, I'm obviously important and I'm right. And everyone else can go fuck off. And it's the worst kind of thing that you can do with your mentality in your life, in my opinion. You've got to be open-minded. You know what I mean? You got to be open-minded. So, it's a horrible situation. We're covering world news. I wanted to mention it because not a lot of people are mentioning it. I doubt you're going to hear another gaming YouTuber talk about that kind of stuff. But this is my podcast. This is not 100% about gaming. This is about everything, and I like to cover all the bases. If there are updates or whatever in future, weeks, I'll let you guys know. But I hope that at least my thoughts, I wanted to get my thoughts out there, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think as well. But I would ask, please don't get into fucking arguments in the comments of this video about, oh, this religion's right and this one's wrong. Because I'm not of the mentality that anyone's right or wrong. I don't think that anyone could ever fucking know what's right or wrong, And you need to respect other people, and that's how life needs to be lived, but whatever, okay? Anyway, excuse me. Okay. Let's talk about gaming news now, because I want to end on a higher note, or at least a more related note to stuff that's gaming related, and there's two big news stories this past week. The first being Nintendo. More Nintendo news. You say, oh no, last time, Phil, when we talked about Nintendo on the last podcast, it was about their partnership program on YouTube and how there was all this controversy because they were taking a big chunk of the money from the ad revenue on that, and a lot of YouTubers were coming out publicly and complaining about it and saying, what right does Nintendo have to do this? What could possibly have happened since then? I've got no good news for you, ladies and gentlemen, alright? No good news for you at all. I wish I had good news for you. There's been an update, okay? Because Nintendo has this partnership program now on YouTube, okay? Where you can partner with them and they will allow you to monetize your videos that are Nintendo-related gaming content. I believe the cut is 60-40, right? Where you make 60, they make 40% of the ad revenue. Actually, I take that back because I think it's a three-way cut because YouTube takes some of the revenue too. I'm not sure what the exact cut is because I'm not in this program. I'm with Machinima. Machinima protects me from this bullshit by making me a managed partner, so I'm able to actually play fucking Nintendo games, okay? But anyone else who's not a managed partner has to put up with this bullshit. And so, what it looks like is there was this controversy because people were signing up for the program and they were like, but if I sign my whole channel under Nintendo, what if I want to play a game that's not Nintendo? Yeah, I like to play Nintendo games, but I also like to play things on PlayStation and Microsoft systems and everything else. Let's face it, Nintendo was not the end-all and be-all of video games anymore, like they were, you could say, probably in the late 1980s and early 90s until Sega became a major competitor when they were. So, how is this going to work? Okay? In addition to that, Nintendo had only put out an approved list of games saying that they would do this for. There were other Nintendo games that they claimed they would not do this for. And people were like, we want more information. How is this going to work? Okay? Well, guess what? Nintendo responded. Thanks for your concerns. Here's your answers. Number one, if the game that you want to play is not on our approved list of games, we will just claim all the ad revenue no matter what. Guess what game is not on their approved list of games? Smash Brothers. So anyone who's not a managed partner on YouTube who wants to put up a video of Smash Brothers has all of their ad revenue stolen by Nintendo 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts. No way to appeal it. Fuck you, because Nintendo says they can, unless you take them to court. Well, that's a good attitude for Nintendo to have for their customers, right? But it gets worse. Now they say, well, let's say you have a gaming channel, right? And you want to play a Nintendo game, but you also want to play something that's not a Nintendo game. Too bad. Because guess what? The Nintendo partnership only works for Nintendo-related games. So Nintendo literally recommended that if you want to do gaming of Nintendo and make money on it, you may not upload any other games to your channel, period. Do not upload Microsoft, Sony, third party. Only Nintendo games that are on the approved list should be uploaded to your YouTube channel, period. Nothing else will be approved. Nothing else will you be able to make money on, period. What? What planet does Nintendo management live on? Is there a planet Nintendo out there between Jupiter and Uranus? Because that's where they fucking belong, shoving their heads up their own anuses with this fucking policy. Are you out of your mind? Why do you think that your single-party list of games that you have approved for ad revenue is the only thing anyone should be able to make a YouTube video on if they join your program? Like, what? Are you, like, out of your mind? It's just... And the thing is, and it's funny because DK Mario Link in the stream chat saying something I said a few months ago when we were talking about Nintendo and their outdated, insane policies. Nintendo is traditional Japanese. Traditional Japanese culture, and this is not me talking shit, this is truthful, is that the Japanese feel that culturally they are one of the strongest, if not the most strong and intelligent people in the world. They are the most important. They are number one. So the upper management of Nintendo is of this mentality that everything they put out is better than everyone else. Why would you want to make a video of any other game? Because Nintendo is the best. So if you want to make money making Nintendo videos, we're going to take whatever the fuck we want from you. We'll do you the favor of maybe tossing you a couple bucks here or there, but don't even bother uploading anything else because Nintendo's the best. And that's what they actually believe. Talk about were we just talking about generalization and putting yourself in other people's shoes? Nintendo management is not able to do this. They're fucking insane. They're actually insane. They're just not in control. So it's insane. It's ridiculous. And right now it's just, it's so ridiculous that people are like, I'm not going to make Nintendo videos anymore. Fuck it. And I'm not talking little PewDiePie, the biggest gaming YouTuber ever, came out. Other people, slowly but surely, are saying, I had enough. I can't serve, I have a business that for years I was able to operate until December 2013, Nintendo decided to just lose their fucking minds. Here we are in early 2015, and they're getting worse. Fuck this, And it's only going to be a small percentage of people who are protected under the guise of a managed partnership that are going to be able to upload Nintendo footage anymore without this ridiculous nonsense. Because I'm not going to, if I were told by Nintendo right now that we will take all ad revenue from your games, I would say, Nintendo, I love your games, but I'm not going to put up with your fucking elitist bullshit. You're not the best game company on the planet anymore. Maybe you were once, not anymore. And I'm not going to totally change my business model for you. Fuck you, goodbye. And that's what any gamer who's looking to do videos of Nintendo should be saying. It's that ridiculous that they think they're that important. So it's not good news. And it's funny that this is happening because, DK Mario Link again, he said, Zach Scott Games. This guy was the biggest YouTuber for, Nintendo. This is all he did was, he was Mr. Nintendo, and he apparently has stopped covering Nintendo games. He's done with them. That's insane. He was number one. They're fucking stupid. Downward spiral, ladies and gentlemen. Follow the downward spiral. The last piece of news, well, I have two more pieces of news. I take that back. There was an announcement this past week that apparently Netflix is doing and developing a live-action Legend of Zelda television show. Excuse me, Netflix. What the fuck? A live-action Legend of Zelda television show. What? I don't know how I feel about this. Why am I so skeptical? Well, let's take a look at some of the live-action adaptations of Nintendo stuff. Oh, and let's do the video package. I guess the video package isn't going to run, so we're talking about Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo. Super Mario Brothers. The movie? They made a movie, a live-action movie of Super Mario Brothers. Better that you don't know about it, because that movie fucking sucked. They just destroyed the live-action materials. You know what I mean? The live-action. I can't even speak anymore. The source materials. They destroyed the source materials. The movie was garbage. Had almost nothing to do with the game. People hated it. It was funny because the end of the movie teased a sequel. They didn't make a sequel. The movie sucked so bad. It did horribly, and it basically tanked. How do you adapt The Legend of Zelda to a live action series? And some people will say, well, what if it's like Game of Thrones for children? It's like a non-bloody, it's maybe some violence, but it'll be for little kiddies. What? I hate that. Here you go. Dear Netflix, I don't know if you know this. Little kids aren't really playing Zelda anymore. The people that are playing Zelda are the people who grew up with Zelda and have remained fans of the series, hardcore fans since the beginning. Yes, every once in a while you'll be able to convert a kid, but the Zelda games aren't even they come out how often? Every 4 or 5 years? And when they do, they're huge because the same people buy it. It's this hardcore group of people that love Zelda. You're not going to sell a little kid on watching live-action Zelda on Netflix. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll have the fucking, they'll have the Teletubbies and fucking what's her name from Lazy Town will be making a pretty cake, and they'll have all this fucking weird shit in the show, and it'll catch on to kids. But last time I checked, Legend of Zelda isn't exactly some kiddie thing. In fact, some of the Legend of Zelda games are some of the most challenging games that you can play. What little kid's gonna want to see that in a television show? I don't know, but it just sounds so weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, what? You're gonna make a live-action Zelda, and I can just imagine how many horrible ways this could go terribly fucking wrong. But it could go right. But it's probably going to go terribly fucking wrong, and we'll all be laughing about this in a few months or, a few years' time whenever the show finally comes out. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I will remain open-minded until we actually get to see the fucking show for itself, if it ever actually does get made, okay? And the last piece of news, ladies and gentlemen, and this will be to end the show, Law & Order Special Victims Unit, the show that has outstayed its welcome by about 10 fucking years, is still on the air. Most of the cast of the show has quit over the years because they don't want anything to do with it anymore because the writing's so terrible. Decided to do an uninformed, really uneducated episode this week on the Gamergate scandal. Now, when they did this episode, did they do their research to find out that the Gamergate scandal actually originated as a story about basically dishonesty in gaming journalism and corruption in gaming journalism, and that's what the core issue was about? Of course not. The entire episode was about a female game designer, which, by the way, doesn't exist. That's not Anita Sarkeesian, who they were trying to base the episode off of, who was lambasted and attacked and trolled by basically chauvinistic males on the internet just for being female and being successful. And she became some kind of like a idealistic figurehead in the gaming community for women, but they had to stop all these evil men from trying to troll and dox her and attack her in real life. And the show, apparently, from what I heard, was a horrible piece of stinky fucking shit. Ever since Christopher Maloney left the show's been utter shit anyway. But this, takes the cake. How can you have a show based on a real thing that happened in social media and the headlines of news, but you didn't actually get the story right? You didn't even get the bare story. You thought the story was that a female game developer was being attacked and doxxed by male gamers. That's not even what happened. What happened was there was a story about corruption in the gaming media, but then people flipped it into a feminist agenda to get attention for feminism and Anita Sarkeesian, who have nothing to fucking do with the gaming journalism issue. And that's why the whole thing blew up. That's why it was my worst gaming trend of 2014 in my countdown, because it was the worst thing that happened to gamers. It was an opportunity for us to discuss a real, live, important issue in gaming, because gaming is becoming a multi-billion-dollar industry and taking up more time and importance in our lives than ever before. And instead, we took that opportunity to talk about corruption and turned it into bullshit and fluff so that feminists could get a push. I feel like it's wrestling. It's pro wrestling. They distracted from the issue so someone else could get a push, a popularity push. And it's like, how did they not fucking talk, excuse me, about the core issue? The show was terrible. Don't watch it. It's a piece of shit. The writers of SVU should be ashamed, but then again, they should be ashamed for the past 4 years that the show's been crap. Don't watch that shit, alright? Alright, last story, ladies and gentlemen. Last story. This is the quickest one I could basically tell you, because this is weird. And this is really weird, because the reason I know about this story is because I got an email. Alright? I'm going to see if I can find the email, but I think I might have deleted it by accident. I got an email a couple days ago. Who was the email from? It was from Bethesda, okay? Now, I don't know how I got an email from Bethesda. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know why I got an email from Bethesda, who put me on their mailing list of people in the industry. But I got an email straight from Bethesda, the game developer that made Fallout, okay? They've been working on other great projects too, but primarily they're known for Fallout. And I got an email from them saying, save the date, because this year, for the first time ever, Bethesda is doing their own press conference at E3. Now, I don't know why I got the email, because I'm not going to E3. I have no way to get into E3 unless, Machinima gets me in again. And quite honestly, I can't afford to fly out to California to go to E3, even though it's closer now. I have to, like I said, I have financial responsibilities and stuff. Unless the trip was paid or something, I doubt I could go to E3, okay? But I got an invite from Bethesda, save the date, you're invited to our press conference at E3, and here it is. And I was like, what? And I'm like, really? Bethesda's having a press conference at E3. You know, it's one of two things, ladies and gentlemen. It's either a new entry into the Elder Scrolls that's so huge, they feel is so huge that they want to have a press conference, or more than likely, I think this is what everyone's talking about, Fallout 4 is finally going to be announced. And they want to really give it a large amount of time to talk about it so that people can, like, really hype it up, because it's been a long time coming. When the fuck when did Fallout 3 come out? How long ago? You know what I mean? That was the beginning to just first half of the last console generation. And I think that this, you know, it could definitely blow things out of the water if they do it right. And, I mean, Bethesda typically does good stuff, you know? I can't really fault them, even though, you know, you play games here or there that have bugs and stuff. But I think it's going to be pretty good. So I'm really feeling that maybe it's a dual announcement, where it's going to be on this side, they're going to talk about, you know, Fallout 4 and then another Elder Scrolls, and that's really why they need their press conference, because they're going to go into detail for like maybe 20 minutes on each one or something. Or maybe it's about Elder Scrolls Online and what a joke it is. I mean, it could be that too. Who knows? They publish a lot of stuff too. Like, I think they published... Did they publish Evil Within? I think they published a few games recently, but they're just published. They didn't develop those. They just published them. But they might have enough games under their umbrella now that they're actually going to talk about all the games they published too. So that'll be interesting. I'm actually excited for that press conference. I'm hoping there's going to be good stuff, and that we'll get good stuff out of them at E3. Fallout 4, please, because you guys know how much I love Fallout 3. I love Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. Woo! I really feel we need a game like that. We're at a stale time right now in gaming, where even the games that are super hyped end up being deflating when they come out. Fallout 4, I mean, Fallout 3, I think, exceeded all expectations. Fallout 4 could just fucking blow the roof off this motherfucker and show people what the new consoles can do and actually have us spending, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 hours playing a game again, rather than this fucking games that you buy now and you beat them within 2 hours, or that you see all the content within a day and you're like, what the fuck did I spend $60 on? We need that again. We need that for this new console generation. What has been the defining game of the new console generation? Nothing. There's been nothing on these new consoles you really need to jump to buy yet. Let's hope that maybe Bethesda could knock our socks off at E3, okay? Alright, everyone. Thanks very much for watching Hate Live. It's been a long episode, but we had tons of topics to talk about, and I appreciate you guys being patient and spending time with me. You know, 2 hours to shoot the shit and talk about stuff. I'll be back next week with another Hate Live. We'll see what we're going to talk about then. Maybe we'll have a back in the day segment then, because we'll have time. But we had so much stuff to talk about this time, we did not have time to talk about anything else. I thank you very much for being here, whether you're here live or you're watching this on the King of Hate Vlogs on demand on YouTube. Peace out. Please, 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 please. Fan art for Monster Hunter. Feedback on Patreon. That's kind of the two things I leave you with this week. I really need your help on both. And then we can get stuff going. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you for the new games coming this week. Peace out. Have a good one. I'm getting in line for 50 Shades of Grey right now.